Is life hard for you? Do you have a lot of mental anguish and strain and stress that you're trying to figure out how to work through? Listen, I'm going to give you a key that is proven to work to help relieve some anxiety, to help you to feel better even before you change anything and actually do better so that things around you actually change. Listen, what I'm about to tell you, it is going to sound Disney, but it is proven to actually be effective. Also, what I'm going to tell you does not automatically change your situation, but it does eventually change who you are in the situation, which allows you to change. So, if you're ready to hop into something that's been tested over time, proven by psychologists to work and change your situation so that your mental can be better, this is one of the most important things you can do for your mental health. This is one of the most important things you can do for your mental resiliency. So let's dig into it real quick. This is an age old saying, right? But it says this: whatever things are true, whatever things are honest, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, think on these things. Listen, you have no idea just how strong your mind really is. If only you not just think about positive stuff and act like everything's okay, because that's not what this verse is getting to. But if you train your mind to focus on the things that you want, need, and enjoy, you will have actual results that you thoroughly, thoroughly enjoy. So let's dig into this real quick. This right here, it says, whatsoever things are true and whatsoever things are honest. What people don't realize is that thinking of truth over lies actually combats anxiety and distorted thinking, right? Thinking of what's honor and just actually stabilizes moral clarity. And thinking on praise and excellence builds gratitude and hope. Hope is one of those things that we usually don't think too much about, but it turns out when we don't have it, everything falls apart. See, this is what's bad about getting bad news, is that it chips at our hope. And when we have no hope, we feel hopeless. This is when people go and do absolutely drastic things. I'll just put it that way. But this right here tells us to focus on some very important things: pure, lovely, good things, virtuous things. If there be any praise, if there be anything that is honest, right? You think on these things. Why? Because it turns out that what we know for a fact, scientifically, this is what's good, is that what you think on affects how you feel. How you feel will affect how you act. How you act will affect what your surroundings actually look at. Like, so let me say it again. What you think about will affect how you feel. How you feel will affect how you act. How you act will affect what's happening in your everyday. So, this verse does not say to just be in la la land thinking about things without being honest about what's going on. This verse tells you to train your mind to constantly think on the positive, to constantly think on the good, to constantly think on just, to constantly dwell on these things. Not just have a thought about it, but intentionally dwell on it. And what happens as a result is that it doesn't matter the situation you're in, it turns out your mental resilience goes way up through the roof. And just so you can get a glimpse of what's happening, the person that originally wrote that was actually in prison when it was written. Okay? So this is a man that's currently locked up talking about how you think about things. And guess what? Though he is facing mental and physical anguish, he's also, if you read some of his other writings in the same, you know, group of writings right there, I didn't know what to call it, same book, I should say, you find out that he actually talks about having peace. Peace in the midst of being in prison, peace in the midst of being in chains, peace in the midst of people having him in a situation where he could possibly forfeit his life or lose his life, I should say. Not him forfeit, but someone could take it. But he has peace, right? The same person says that it doesn't matter if he has a lot or has a little. He can be content. He can have peace through it all. Why? Because the thought process that he has allows him to always be centered and not focus on the negative. So it allows his body to not always be filled with the negative thoughts and the negative emotions, but always be filled with the positive thoughts and the positive emotions, even in terrible situations. And I want to let you know that if your mental health isn't where it needs to be, if your finances aren't where they need to be, if your family isn't what you want it to be, if anything is not what you want it to be, this right here is the start of your mental fortitude growing. This is also the start of you thinking in a way that has a physical effect in your body, and you thinking in a way that will allow you and push you to take different steps, right? To take different actions that have different results so that you can live something in reality that is so much better than what you had before. All right, so if you want to know where that is, that's found in Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. I suggest you read the entire chapter because just 2 verses before and 2 verses after, there's more nuggets in there that actually will help uplift your entire mental well-being. If you're a leader, if you have weight on your shoulders, if you have people counting on you, depending on you, if you just lost and don't know what to do, I want to tell you just one more time. Whatever things are true, whatever things are honest, whatever things are just, whatever things are pure, whatever things are lovely, whatever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, if there be any praise, please think on these things. Listen, my name is Miles Brown. I am a public speaker, a speaking coach. I'm a podcast host. I speak on leadership and communication. And this right here is a key to be able to be a leader who is capable of continuing. Anyways, if you need some help with leadership or communication, feel free to send a message. I would love to work with you to take you to where you want to be. God bless. And as always, find somebody and find a way to do something good.